Hello, everyone. This is the K-Man 1971. Happy Labor Day to one and all. Hope you're having a great time out there. Um, I've been very motivated over the past couple of days watching all of your top 50 videos, so I figured why not dust off my little comic book collection spotlight series and throw my own top 50 out there. Some of your collections are just outstanding. I was watching Marky 316's video, Beauty Comics, Read Comics, Lord Tapman, and that was it. I was motivated enough to break out these books and throw them out there. So hopefully you can all enjoy it. My top 50 consists of a lot of first appearances, Bronze Age premiere issues, and just a lot of my favorite characters. So without any further ado, let's get it on. Starting it off with I'm not going to be counting down from 50 all the way down to 1. I'll never keep track, so I'll let you guys know when I get down to my top 10. But these are all in some kind of order. So starting off with number 50, Daredevil 168, first appearance of Elektra. Fantastic Four, number 45, the first appearance of the Inhumans. Only a VG copy. It has a nice big crease going all the way down there, but I bought it years ago for maybe like $40. Ghost Rider number 1 from Volume 1. The Defenders number 1. Mr. Miracle number 1. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of Bronze Age premiere issues in this top 50. Daredevil number 131, first appearance of Bullseye. Marvel Spotlight number 2, first appearance of Werewolf by Night, kick-ass Neil Adams cover. Marvel Feature number 1, featuring the first appearance of the Defenders, and I also believe that this is a Neil Adams cover. Strange Tales number 135, the first appearance of Nick Fury, first appearance of S.H.I.E.L.D., and the first appearance of Hydra. One of my favorite and most underrated characters out there, Special Marvel Edition, number 15, featuring the first appearance of Shang-Chi, one of the badasses of the Bronze Age. Green Lantern, number 59, featuring the first appearance of Hal Jordan. Oh, jeez, I'm sorry, Guy Gardner. Durr. Fantastic Four, number 67, first cameo appearance of him, aka Adam Warlock. And here we go into my Darkseid trilogy. So, New Gods number 1, probably fine plus copy. What hurts it here is like the color fade, obviously. But third appearance of Darkseid. Forever People number 1, first full appearance of Darkseid. And Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen, number 134, first cameo appearance of Darkseid. Yet again, another really cool Neil Adams cover. This copy is probably only like maybe 5.0, maybe a VG+, plus. I'm not really sure. It does have a little crease down there. Perennial childhood favorite of mine, DC Comics presents number 26, the first appearance of the new Teen Titans. First appearance of Cyborg, Starfire, and Raven. Another fave of mine, old school, Tomb of Dracula, number 1. Yet again, Neil Adams cover. I'd say probably very fine condition. Dr. Solar, Man of the Atom, number 1 from Gold Key. One of my oldest comic books in my PC. Star Trek number 1, first appearance of Star Trek and the whole Enterprise gang in comic book form. Underrated, not a cheap book, but I still think it's pretty underrated, considering Star Trek and Star Wars, those are two properties that, even if you're not a comic book fan, there are people that just collect anything with that kind of brand on it. So, for the long term investment, I like this book. Doctor Strange, number 169. This is when I was going through my Marvel premiere phase, where Marvel was expanding and pretty much left DC in the dust forever. So, here's Doctor Strange 169. This is pretty much Doctor Strange number 1. Thor number 126, when it switched over to Journey to Mystery. So, effectively, Thor number 1. And The Incredible Hulk number 102. As you can see on the cover, big premiere issue. So those are 3 books right there that I never thought I'd have in my collection that I picked up last year. Super happy to have those. Iron Fist number 14, first appearance of Sabretooth. Amazing Spider-Man number 121, featuring the death of Gwen Stacy, and in my opinion, one of the most iconic covers ever. My man, Luke Cage, Hero for Hire, number 1. Awesome cover, and love this book. I ended up receiving it just the beginning of this year, or maybe shortly after Christmas. It was part of an eBay gift card that my parents gave me last Christmas. Beautiful book, love it, and that sentimental value too. Batman number 232. Neil Adams yet again. During the classic Denny O'Neil, Neil Adams run on the Batman comics, well, Batman and Detective Comics from the 1970s. And love this book. And this is my all-time greatest stealth buy. I was in one of my honey holes probably a couple of years ago where I wasn't as close to the owner as I am now. And he saw me going through some boxes. And he's like, well, those have to be repriced. And they were just Batman filler issues. So I was like, okay, fine, man. Yeah, he had them priced for like $2 a piece, and he raised the price on me to $4 a piece. So I still bought the issues. But then when I was flipping through his the boxes on top in his regular Batman long box, this was in there for $7. So probably, I'd say 5.0 to 5.5 shape. There's a slight little spine tear right up top there, but for $7, the first appearance of Ra's al Ghul, awesome. That's what you call paying a douche tax. Justice League of America, number 21, the first Crisis storyline in DC history, and the first crossover between the JLA and the JSA, which I'm a huge dork over. So, love this book. Blue Beetle, number 1 from Charlton Comics, featuring the first appearance of The Question. Book I picked up not too long ago, Savage Tales, number 1, featuring the first appearance of the Man-Thing. And, but as I said before, I bought this more because I am a Conan the Barbarian collector, and this is, aside from Conan the Barbarian number 1, this is probably the most sought-after Conan back issue out there. So, love it. I mean, definitely probably in my top 3 pickups of the year. Marvel Preview number 4, featuring the first appearance of Star-Lord. Who isn't a Guardians of the Galaxy fan at this point, right? One of my favorite Marvel characters, one of my favorite characters in comics to begin with. Marvel Superheroes, featuring Captain Marvel, number 12. First appearance of Captain Marvel, a book that I see, obviously, it has a lot of potential to it. Harbinger, number 1, with the coupons, of course. And man, this book was just like a ghost back in the 90s. Or if you did come across it, it was like obnoxiously expensive. But just love to have it. High grade. And yeah, I'd love to see a Harbinger movie someday. Spawn, number 1, black and white. This is given to me by my brother a couple of years ago, maybe like 2 years ago. And this was just chilling in his, because we used to collect comics together back in the day. And this was just chilling in a long box underneath a couple of bags of dog food. And he just gave it to me. So, really happy, high grade, beautiful, beautiful McFarlane cover. One of my top 10 DC Comics characters of all time. The New Teen Titans, #2, featuring the first appearance of Deathstroke the Terminator. Yes. Love that book. Thor #165, the first full appearance of him. As an Adam Warlock fan, that is must have. Fine minus condition, but it's good with me for now. One of my all-time favorite Batman covers of all time. And this was a damn fun storyline, too, from Batman Hush. So here's Batman #608. This is the second print Jim Lee variant. And, yeah, top 5, definitely my top 5 Batman covers of all time. And as a Batman fan, once again, this is must-have stuff right here. Book that I just picked up this year also, San Diego Comic-Con Comics, #2, featuring the first appearance of Hellboy. Nice high grade, and this is another book that I speculate I'll probably see a nice hike come next year if that Hellboy movie is any good whatsoever, and I think it will be. So, love this book, and as of right now, unless anything changes, and I don't think it will, this will probably be my pick of the year. We'll see. Love this book, love the character, love the rarity, too. I guess there's only like 1,500 copies of this out there, so sweet. Amazing Spider-Man #300, as we all know, a book that's a little harder than usual. I mean, this was always a book that was in demand, but now Venomania has swept the nation. Which is funny, a couple of months ago, everyone on YouTube was like, oh, everyone's Venomed out, and it pretty much was true, but that is definitely not the case anymore, thanks to that trailer and Donny Cates. Woo! Alright, get into a couple of slabs now. Another book that I just picked up this year, Marvel Premiere, #15, featuring the first appearance of Iron Fist. Sweet. 6.5. Book that was on my want list forever. X-Men #94. 5.5. And, second appearance of the new X-Men team, third appearance of Wolverine, and love it. I mean, one of those classic, beyond classic runs that I was very happy to top off. And unfortunately for me, this was the last issue I needed, so, whew. But at least, that is one of those things that I definitely wanted to accomplish as a collector at some point, to have that vintage X-Men run of Giant Size X-Men #1 going all the way up to Uncanny X-Men 175. The pinnacle of the X-Men title, as far as I'm concerned. Let's put that away. Moving on. Now I think we're in my top 10. So kicking it off with the top 10, Star Wars #1 from the 1970s, Volume 1. Love this book. Once again, a present from my brother probably about 20-something years ago, man. And I know I've showed other books off that are worth more than this, but especially in my top 10, it has to deal with, well, books that are worth money, of course, but my favorite characters, favorite franchises, and Star Wars is definitely a staple of mine as long as I've been collecting. So, love this book, love all the first appearances, and it's another one of those books that I think that even if you're not a comic collector, people will be interested in this book pretty much forever. Well, hopefully, anyway. The New Mutants, #98. Of course, the first appearance of Deadpool. Very high grade. Picked this up for like $5 in a back issue bin back in the 90s. One of those few examples where I beat the wave. The Batman Adventures #12. First appearance of Harley Quinn. Love this book, obviously. with the big price hike in Incredible Hulk 181, everyone's kind of speculating what will be the next character from outside of the Bronze Age that will really light up and be the next Hulk 181. Honestly, I would go with the most obvious answers. I would go with first appearance of Harley Quinn in Batman Adventures number 12, first appearance of Deadpool in New Mutants 98, and Amazing Spider-Man number 300, first appearance of Venom. 2 out of 3 of those books were highly overprinted, but are in high demand. So those are the 3 characters that I can see. They've already, they're not exactly new characters anymore. They've already been around for like 20 something years. So and that doesn't usually happen by accident. So if you were going to speculate in something and you wanted to invest in something, I would invest in any 3 of those characters, or all 3 of those characters. Marvel Spotlight number 5, first appearance of Ghost Rider. Probably only a 6.0, but love it as a kid. This is another one of those books I never thought I'd own, and part of my holy trinity of well, not Trinity, probably more like my Fantastic Four of badasses of the Bronze Age. That included Wolverine, the Punisher, Ghost Rider, and of course Conan. Speaking of which, Conan the Barbarian, number 1. Definitely one of my favorite comics. And once again, I've shown other books that are probably worth more than this, but I don't care. This is one of those all-time favorite books of mine. So, love it. Brave and the Bold, number 54. And this is the first appearance of the Teen Titans, before Wonder Girl even joined. So, I can't say how much I love this book. Love the Teen Titans. Aside from Batman and the JLA, the Titans are probably my favorite DC franchise. I grew up reading the Marv Wolfman, George Perez era, and that made me a lifelong comic addict. So, or was one of the elements of making me a lifelong comic book addict. So, once again, 5.5 condition. Love it, man. Alright. A couple of more slabs. I should have really been a little bit more prepared for this. Amazing Spider-Man number 129. First appearance of the Punisher. 5.0 CGC. I think what makes it a 5.0 is obviously the color fade. But other than that, I mean, the book looks pretty damn good, man. But color fade does account for a lot. So fine minus condition to VG+, I guess. It's that gray area of grading. So really happy to have it. Love it. And I'm glad I bought it when I did before it got totally out of control. Oh, and I forgot to tell you. Well, all right, these are like my top 3. I was supposed to tell you my top when we get to the top 10, but I spaced it out. So Giant Size X-Men number 1. This is my 3rd favorite comic in my collection. First appearance of the new X-Men. Second full appearance of Wolverine. This is like X-Men holiness. Coming in at number 2, a book that I'm still in awe of anytime that I bring it out. Fantastic Four, number 48, CGC 5.5, so fine minus condition. First appearance of the Silver Surfer. Cameo appearance of Galactus. Beautiful stuff, man. Kirby and Stan Lee at their peak. And, yeah, legendary. And finally, which will be to no one's surprise, I don't think this will ever change or be dethroned unless I find a higher grade copy. My number 1 book in my collection is The Incredible Hulk. Number 181. First full appearance of Wolverine. Iconic cover. Just love it, man. Now, I used to think this was probably like a 6.0, and it still might be. But let's pull it in. If you can see there. There are some spine ticks right there. So I'm thinking more of probably like the 5.5 range. Other than that, that's about it. That's all that's really wrong with it. Little speck right up there, but beautiful copy. And this was my first comic that I spent a lot of money on. I spent like $400 on this probably about 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. So And boy, am I glad that I did, because this book is totally, even at a 5.0, 5.5, out of my range of what I'd want to spend on a comic. So that's all I have. Keep those top 50 videos coming. I've been loving watching them. Yeah, and that's it. I will see you all later on. Thank you all for watching, liking, and subscribing. Take care. See ya.